Last time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Welcome back to another beautiful day in the mighty hemlock forests of the Pacific Northwest. Today I've got a fun video for you. We are going to be taking a look at and testing the SAS Survival Bow. Now this is a really interesting product. This is a USA made bow of really good quality components as far as I can tell that transforms into a 55-pound bow that could be used for defense or hunting. It's a legitimate bow for sure. There's even an option where you can store the arrows inside. Let's open it up. I'll show you how to string it. We'll take a look at it and then we'll put it to the test and see if this is a viable option for preparedness-minded folk. This is the bow in its folded state. It's very compact, as you can see. I'm guessing probably 28, 30 inches or so. There's a Velcro strap on here that you can use to keep the limbs secured. I just put my tabs on there, which we'll use here in a minute. But how you deploy the thing is if you look at it, there's two holes here and a single hole here. The one with the single hole, you open it up, pull these caps off, open it up. Now this other side here, we're gonna have to remove the cap, and inside you can store your bowstring, an extra bowstring, and you can even store those breakdown arrows I was telling you about. I didn't get those. I'm gonna order some because I think it's a great option to have everything in one, but we'll just shoot some standard arrows today. Now to activate this here, or to assemble it, there's a screw that you never use tools for. It's just finger tight. These are all stainless steel, so they shouldn't corrode on you. Now you're gonna take this portion here, and we're gonna flip it 180 and put it in the front hole. Right there, right before we string it. Insert the pin back. Again, this riser here is aluminum and reasonably thin. You don't want to use tools to tighten this because it probably would squish it and ruin it. There's no need for it. Just go finger tight. And now we have a full length 55-pound bow ready to string. There is the knock that will come with the bow. You'll have to install that and line it up with the rest as well, and that comes as well, which is just a Fred-Bear adhesive rest like has been around forever. I'm not new to archery. I grew up archery hunting. I've killed multiple animals. I used to shoot competitions, 3D target competitions, and have just been out of it for a long time. So I do know my way around a bow. Right off the bat, there are a few disadvantages here. As we see, the riser is a piece of rectangle, aluminum there, and we have the arrow going off to the side. What I mean is your competition bows or your hunting bows are going to compensate and bend out, bulge out here so you have a nice straight arrow. It's something that can be worked around. It all comes at a price with convenience, right? To be able to have something that packs into a small pack that you can put your string and arrows in, you know, it's always about trade-offs. I had to move my target, it was in the sun. And for goodness sake, if you're shooting a brand new untested bow, wear safety glasses. especially something you buy off of Amazon. Okay, let's knock our first. I'm not shooting anything until you guys click that thumbs up. I know, I gotta ask because we all forget, right? Boy, it's been a long time. I never really shot recurve much. The draw is a little bit short for me, but I have particularly long arms. So much for that arrow. But starting to walk it in there, as you can see. It's that was my third attempt, so it could be mastered. It is consistent enough. You can see that it is because the arrows are reasonably close, even with my untrained arm. Let's back it up here to about 30 paces. That's getting close to just under 100 feet or so. Typical shot for archery hunting would be if you were camoed and knew what you were doing. There we go. This definitely would have been a kill shot. These here, probably not. But I get in that habit of, boy, it gets good penetration though. That was a good deep into the bark there. And these are just crummy field punch or pressed field tips. These aren't even proper ones. I'm impressed. I really like it. I'm excited to get the breakdown arrows and try it with those and get some broadheads. Another broken arrow. Here are my conclusions on the SAS tactical bow. Let's start with the negative. The negative, of course, of not having a contoured riser. That's a bit of a problem, but can be overcome. If you're shooting with this and you understand that, it's not unlike the offset on your M4 at inside of 17 yards or so. It's going to be shooting a little bit low. So long as you understand that, you can make corrections for it. Another aspect of it that is negative for the hunting side of it is it's noisy. There's a lot of twang, a lot of the things that we did to our bows was to silence them, to make them quiet. So if you missed the first shot, the bow wasn't so loud that on the follow-up shot that you didn't spook the game. So it is a noisy bow. Also, having that aluminum riser there where you're going to hold on to it, this is going to be very, very cold if you're hunting in the winter time. These things are important. You don't think about them too much when you're in the comfort of your home or in the middle of summer, but that's going to be very cold. I might wrap it with some athletic tape or come up with some sort of a rubber handle to insulate myself from that. But apart from that, I don't feel like it really has a lot of drawbacks. The draw is a little bit short for me, but I think for most guys that have normal length arms, it will be just fine. But this is a very nice little bow and very nicely put together, and I like it. I mean, it just gives me the fizz. To have a bow that you can fold up so small and keep the string inside the riser and keep 3 arrows. I think that's what they said. You can put 3 breakdown arrows, which is a 2-piece arrow that screws apart that will fit inside there, is pretty awesome. I like it. I'm a big fan. I'm actually a fan of archery. I'm a kind of an amateur historian. I read a lot of old history, especially from the English archers, which fired the old yew bows. Those guys were so strong. It's such an interesting story. I should recommend some books for you. Those guys were so strong that their spine and back would actually become deformed because they were so powerful pulling these yew war bows. They were so feared by the French that if a bowman was caught by the French army and they realized what he was, they would cut off his 2 draw fingers because he was such a threat to them. The bow and arrow, it changed warfare in the Dark Ages with the invention of the bodkin tips, and it's fascinating story. And the skills that we have today are pretty pathetic compared to what they could do. There were guys that could shoot 12 arrows in 10 seconds, and they used to shoot and hold their arrows in their drawing hand. That takes massive skill. And also the knock on the left side, this is kind of an American, or not an American, this is a technique that has kind of come about from static target shooting, where you don't have to run or shoot from horseback. It's very slow. You have to come up over the bow on the wrong side to nock, and it's not efficient. Like the guys that would have been fighting with bows. They nocked on the right side. If you look at the ancient pictures of the bowmen, you'll see that they shot from the right, and that way they could bring arrows, slap arrows from the quiver here. And the arrows on the back, that's Hollywood. That doesn't work at all. If you try to run or jump or off a horse, your arrows will all dump out. It doesn't work. When those guys went into combat, they would have 2, 3, sometimes 4 arrows in their hand, and they could pull them and shoot them about that fast. 12 arrows in 10 seconds. Give that a try. And be accurate. I'd say it's a win, huge win. Very nice piece of kit. I will be keeping it and practicing with it. I really like it. I'll put a link to this at the bottom if you're interested. I ordered this on Amazon. No problem. I would recommend an extra string and get some good arrows. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.